It's all right. I don't think you're going to miss much today.
And then I think Rachel's got a new washing machine coming. She'll be out. So I'll just disappear and come back.
Okay.
Oh dear. I got up late. I feel stressed out now, rushing around. Oh.
Never mind, you can just relax.
Well,
So you're making
hopefully.
me edgy now.
I'm sorry. I'm like this all the time lately. Oh, oh, it's cold.
Well, we nearly had a
downstairs.
meeting next week.
Yeah. It's a shame,
I
isn't
can't
it?
believe that.
Oh,
When I sent out the email, Joyce came back and Chrissy and Peter came. I thought, oh, but as soon as I got two, I thought, right. So I went on all the ticket places where I've advertised for Tuesday mornings and sort of unpublished that date or moved it to January the 20th or next one on, so that event wasn't there. But I forgot that was on there's two I've done over the years. It's Ticket Tailor and this new one called Class Biento, which is where Noreen and a couple of others have come from. So I did those and I forgot all about the big one, the national, the worldwide, which is Eventbrite. But I thought, well, it's out of my psyche because I don't think anyone ever used that. And of course, kiss of death, wasn't it? As soon as I sent out an email to John and Terry and God knows who else, boom, bang, straight away, two people, and they sent such a lovely thing, like we're so excited, really.
seems a funny week to start though, doesn't it? Just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that, and then maybe it's their Christmas gift to themselves. There's two ladies, so I'm looking forward to that. They could watch this video, so watch what you say.
Yeah.
So it's better to meet in January anyway. We all meet sort of in the middle of January.
Yeah, that would
Be
nice.
quite busy either.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
It crossed my mind that.
See how the weather goes.
I wrote an email to the restaurant manager saying, blah blah blah. Is there any way you can book butt a couple tables together or something? She ain't come back, or he hasn't come back.
Oh, I expect they're busy, aren't they?
So busy now.
Sorry, Dave. Sorry, Dave. Can you update me? I'm not quite sure what's happening.
Oh, we can't go. We're not going next Tuesday.
Okay.
So I apologise. I was gonna. There was some email feed yesterday, and I wasn't sure if everyone saw it.
No.
I thought we would have picked it up, but no, we can't do it because, well, Carol couldn't make it.
No, it's too. It was a bit too stressful, really. Quite
Yeah,
on
that's all right.
Christmas. Yeah.
So I think we'll do it in the new year. I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
January's a long month, isn't it? It'd be nice to have something.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
Look forward
I
to.
think Melanie came in, went out. They had to go to look at this special bed for James, and they went over to Castle Point and all the rest. She said it was mad. Busy everywhere, and I thought that's probably why the restaurant manager hasn't come back, because the restaurant is so
busy.
It's just like turn up and do what you like.
Yeah.
So that's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it in January then.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Providing it's not snowy. Icy.
We had Dylan here last night, and it was snowing just a little tiny bit, and he was so excited.
Yeah, I bet.
But sadly, nothing this morning.
Yes,
He was looking out the window every 2 minutes.
I had an email from two people. Well, they booked tickets and it was for the 20th. I thought, oh no. I was doomed.
It'll be less busy, and hopefully
it'd be
everybody will be able to
nice.
make it in January sometime.
They'll have a sale on as well, won't they?
Well, no, it's probably on now.
Mm,
Christmas doodahs.
mm.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Carol. It's good. It'd be just so busy over there, even early
Yeah.
in the morning.
That's what I was thinking as well.
are
And
off
I
as
thought,
well.
oh,
It was absolutely crammed 2 weeks ago.
Because they
The car park had about 6 spaces left.
oh God.
Couldn't believe it. Yeah.
maybe it's the art god saying don't
Yeah.
half
Don't
day.
come. Yeah.
I did say just now to Mel, maybe I should just meet up at the church, and Mel went no.
Oh,
He said it's anyway. It's full of the pool pantry and all that stuff. But I don't think she was that keen on going there.
Mm.
I wanted it to so that like family and friends could come as well. You know, partners could come.
Mm.
Why not?
mm.
Better tell John. I've told Terry that we can't. You know that it's
It's off.
improbable. But I never get much response from his messenger, or you know, he hasn't spoken to me for a few weeks now.
No, I haven't heard
Christmas
from him for a
message,
couple of
obviously.
weeks. He gets this sad thing, doesn't he, at this time of year?
Mm.
Well, I was hoping if he speaks to me, I could, you know, say, will you speak to some of the other people, Julie and things like that, Judy, and that. Perhaps he could tell her as well. Anyway,
Mm.
I can't.
Be nice.
It's
Yeah.
in all the best laid plans and all that rubbish.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah, James is back up on song.
good.
That's the most
Amazing, that.
important bit.
Mm.
Well, how bad it was, you know. They were ringing up the 111 people, going to the out of hours special place to have an appointment there a couple of times. That was like on the Friday, Saturday. And I think in the end, they went to A&E, waited there because they were expecting them. Their doctor had rung ahead and all the rest of it. And when they get there, like, they ain't never heard of you. and all this sort of, and all this sort of, they were waiting around. And I think in the end, it was more like, this is a waste of time.
Yeah.
You can wait for all day. And when you get to see somebody, there won't be anyone there to see you all worth seeing anyway.
Mm.
You know, they were saying it's just the way they're up to here. That you just get passed from one. No, it's not us. You need to go there. In the end, you think, what's the point? I think he's got an ultra scan on Sunday morning this week, so there he is on the little track. You know, let's call it a conveyor belt.
My paramedic friend, yesterday she was working and she messaged me and she was 600 in the queue
Oh,
with
no.
a care patient in the ambulance for a doctor to call her back.
Dreadful,
600.
100.
Absolutely dreadful.
It is absolutely awful.
Yeah.
It's a worry, isn't it?
Yeah. And the poor man, he wasn't going to make it. He was obviously, you know, he wasn't going to make it anyway. And he did die before the doctor actually rang back.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
All
So
that
I'll bring you
time,
back in July.
but she was sat in the ambulance with this poor man who was at death's door for about 4 hours. So
Oh,
the ambulance was totally off the road, tied up, and couldn't do anything.
how awful.
It's dreadful. It's really, really awful.
It must affect them, mustn't it, as well? Sort of-
Yeah.
That's why there's so many NHS in. That's why there's all the shortages, she was saying.
Yeah.
So many of her colleagues just can't cope with it anymore and they've left.
Well, they'll have to get some more in from abroad like they used to have, won't they? You know.
Well, yeah. We're back to the old EU thing again then, aren't we?
Yeah.
They're still here. A lot of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Not that many of them went home.
We didn't
When
all
I
go
had
back.
my scan, they
A
were
lot of
Polish.
yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm not beholder of that, because all you're doing is taking the quality from the country that produced them in the first place. So what about that country?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
taking the crop from
Other
Ukraine,
countries.
Albania, Czechoslovakia, all these other places, and then what happens to them?
Yeah,
It's
yeah. It's all a mess.
got to be a
unfortunately.
balance. Yeah.
Never mind.
All the dentists, I suppose either they grow dentists on trees in Poland. I don't know, but every other dentist is a a load of Polish dentists here, and I'm thinking, don't go to Poland to see a dentist because they're all over here. You've got to look at it in a humorous way, but it's not humorous, really.
Never
They're on
mind.
strike this week, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or a lot of them.
Country's in a bit of a mess, isn't it?
Yeah.
Statements.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
But never mind. Let's
No.
take positive.
Yeah.
Let's paint a picture.
I don't think that is part of the problem, that there's too many of us going, never mind, let's think, da da da. If it was in France or some other country, they'd be out in the streets burning cars, protesting, and they
Are
would.
you suggesting we do that then, Dave?
No,
I haven't got the age for it now, but
There's not the money there, though, is there, to give
No,
everybody?
that's it. That's
pay
it.
rise.
Yeah, and there's too many people
yes,
wanting
there is. The
treatment.
money is there. They just spent it. They wasted it over the last. They drizzled it away from the NHS. Don't talk to nurses about things like that, because they got the facts. That their
So
pay
much
rise has
wastage.
been
So much wastage.
held, and they've siphoned the money out. There's loads of reports on. I don't care.
they're trying to privatise the NHS, aren't they? I think that's what it is. All comes down to.
Yeah.
They want.
Yeah. When I went in there just for that scan, it was all bank nurses. And the girl said to me, she said, it's ridiculous that the NHS can afford to pay bank nurses twice as much.
Which is 3 times as much.
Yeah.
I know nurses get paid at least double or 3 times as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. It is
Well,
absolutely
doing that for
crazy.
years.
Yeah, but it's a weird double-edged thing. If they stop doing that, then those bank nurses would have to come back, or not get a job.
Exactly.
Or they say we ain't gonna. They're going to put a cap on the rate that they pay. They're quite capable of doing that.
No, but
This
they're
is the
just
rate
paying
we'll pay,
so
and
much
that's the end
money.
of it.
It's
Even
ridiculous.
though that is still privatisation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pseudo through the back door.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're all private nurses, really. The bank.
I think they need us on the. They need us.
Yeah, on a panel.
Down the street.
It's all gone back to how it was in the 30s and 40s, where if you're wealthy, you can get a doctor and perhaps survive. If you haven't, tough.
It's getting that way.
Well, now you've depressed us all.
Yeah.
Now can we paint a picture?
Yeah, who started it?
That's the Robbins.
They turned out really well, didn't they?
I haven't done any painting for I don't know how long. Oh, that's nice.
That's lovely.
That's
Oh,
Who's
Yeah.
owning up to that one then?
That's mine.
Carol,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
really,
really,
Carol.
really sweet.
Well, it's got to be, but it's the true, isn't it? You don't know what he's going to look like until you put that little bit in the eye.
that makes all the difference.
He's looking straight at you, isn't he? Sort of,
Yeah.
you're not coming near my candle.
No.
It's keeping him.
Keeping him warm, yeah.
Well, I'll show. That
Oh,
was
that's sweet as well.
Chrissy
really
with her
good.
wonky
Yeah, oh,
arm.
that's good.
Yeah, it's
That's
good. You do really
fabulous.
well. Yeah.
I did that, sat on my lamp. I said to Anne earlier that I hadn't done it and I didn't think I'd have time to do it, and that was that. But I sat with my watercolour pencils on my lap in front of the telly and did that last night.
Well
Oh,
done.
God.
So
Worked out well.
I've got
Um,
3/4 of a new.
I got a leaning
Far as
candle this time. It was a leaning spinnaker
Oh.
tower last time. I just can't seem to do it with my left hand, get it straight.
Yeah,
Be
you-
a challenge. Perhaps we ought to all draw with our left hand and see what we come
Yeah.
up with.
You got a job to do with my right hand.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd win hands down on
Yeah,
that.
you'd be all
Yeah,
right.
you were. Well, you have to swap over.
I can do. I can do.
You
it.
do
I can
both, can't you?
Um,
That's
Oh, that's nice.
like the
do-
background.
Yeah, it's lovely.
yeah.
That's the one I added a little bit of I think I just flicked it around a bit with some clean water to soften up some here and there, and put a
Yeah.
little and I also
Wax.
found a new trick. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. So Paulie, this
Nice.
one I can
Yeah.
make this look really interesting.
That's pretty. Yeah.
Oh,
I can brighten it up
Yeah.
nice flame.
quite a lot. This one I put in Photoshop thingy, and it turned it into something really interesting. You could make it really dark and bright, change it around.
Nice.
But I made mine into cards, rather,
Oh,
and could be coming to a house near you. But it made a
Oh,
really
right.
good card.
Oh,
Look at that.
Mm.
Oh,
mm.
Mel wanted some cards, and I'd already designed a sort of space Christmas tree one, and then I saw that I thought, nah, let's go back to traditional. And that's for
I'm very
today.
sorry, but I haven't done any Christmas cards at all this year.
You don't
I
usually do them anyway, do you?
I don't, I do, I have been cutting back, but this year it's just too much of an effort
Oh.
trying to write cards and
Yeah.
envelopes.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
there won't be any whatsoever. I'm very sorry. plus,
Oh,
plus all my boxes of Christmas cards are in the loft.
So
So
you ought to
No.
do a few in the summer and then they'll be all ready.
Mm.
yeah. Well, this week's
Oh, I
Looks
thought
like
we
an
were
early
doing
Alright,
that.
is just that.
Oh, I thought
Well,
we were doing
Carol
that
was going
man.
on about it, well, back time we'd done something a little bit less challenging. I thought, yeah, I agree with this,
Mm.
with that. No, I saw that, but I liked it anyway. I thought, that's
Oh,
not
I
as
thought we were
easy.
doing that man walking this way.
Well, it's not as easy
You
as
changed-
you thought.
No, no. Oh, all those
And I
green.
sketched it,
Mm.
just a little thing. I thought, no, I was looking at it, I thought, maybe you ought to do a bit more.
All
work.
those marks on it, those lines,
yeah,
Sort of wavy.
wavy lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I reduced the image.
oh,
It's not part of it, and it goes wonky.
mm.
Oh,
Looks like he's walking
Um,
around back in rings.
yeah,
Hmm.
Just to confuse people.
right.
But yeah, they're not part of it. It's just the pencil lines. Didn't notice it had done it actually. Quite interesting effect, isn't it?
Mm.
Like he's
Looks
on
like
a-
snow, doesn't it? The snow's.
Yeah.
Or snowdrift.
Yeah. Don't paint that.
No, we don't want that. It's too much green.
And I was looking at it and I thought, maybe something, and then
No,
I thought,
I don't want a
man,
man
that's
with
a man
snow.
and a dog. It's always tradition, isn't it? A dog walking in the snow. So here we go. But I haven't got a clue what to do. I know I say it every week, but I mean it this week.
well, that's not much good
It's
to
had
us.
a chance then.
Well,
If you haven't got a clue, there's no hope.
Mm.
well, you
Have you
can.
pressed record
Whoops,
yet?
is that gone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's recording.
I have recorded, haven't I?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
This is quite. I'm still using this new camera. I thought, well, see how it goes. What I did notice last week, what is that thing? Oh, I know what it is. I wonder what that was going round and round and round. It's the little lens cap off the camera. Yeah. So anyway, I made some notes. Is that any good? Just, sky equals this, distant foliage. I mean, I do that. I used to do it a lot. Just color notes. I write them on the side. It's and the very last one I put, flesh watercolor pencils. That's to remind me what I was saying just now. That I discovered a little known. I don't think anyone knows because I made it up. It'll work on it. It works on anything. It's a couple here, isn't it? Yeah. There's not many people go to bed with June Brown next door on the flipping. I've got June Brown and Frankie Howard next to me. What I discovered was, I haven't done it on this one, but if you've got one of these, or you get this colour is called it's called beige red, but to me it's flesh. It's just a flesh tone, but you can use it anywhere on your picture to tighten it up, add highlights, little areas. It doesn't matter where you go, but it also adds a little bit of colour. Not what's the word? Light. You can lighten things down. I did it on the robin, who's no longer with me. Where it's gone. That one? Yeah. Like last week's robin works really well. Places like around the edge and where you get hard lines. It doesn't look his legs. You put them down there. Don't have to press hard. And it just warms places up. And the candle, especially over that part where it had a dry back. It's the edges. Or if you've got a place where the background wash didn't meet the subject, you can use it on there. You can put a bit in the flame if you want. Just do it light, but it's sort of a neutral colour. Doesn't seem to affect anything. Everyone's spellbound, I can tell. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
It was so quiet.
your camera's not sort of
Yeah, you
straight.
skew with.
Sorry, Pauline.
Yeah, that's
Just
right.
perfect.
That's
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
they're
Yeah,
very good. I've seen them before.
yeah, yeah,
White House.
yeah. And they had lots of children
Can you hear
in
me?
the choir. That was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I coming through loud and clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you done? What have you done different then?
I just changed cameras back to the other one.
Oh, right.
Oh.
I think I'll leave it at that from now on.
Yeah.
I think so.
Right, anyway,
Here we go.
I'm making the top bit wet. Put in some sky, shall I? I didn't even know there was having sky in this picture.
Yeah.
Bit of blue. I don't know what blue it is, mind. I think it's a blend of cobalt and some other blue. But I'm just going to go. The original picture doesn't have any sky in it anyway. So This is weird paper. I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, dear.
It's going to be
One of
one
those
of them.
days, isn't
It's
it?
not the, is it the 13th today?
Yes,
But it's
Yeah,
not
oh,
Friday.
it's the 13th, yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, dear.
must be that then.
Yeah.
At least
Just
it's not
well,
Friday.
lucky in a Friday.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I'm pretty sure that this is the back edge of the paper anyway, because I didn't like the painting on the other side, so I turned it over. Just lift out a bit. This is Arch's paper, and the number of artists that use this and say it's lovely because you can lift out and all, lift
Mm.
is not true.
Mm.
I've just put that paint on and it's wet. I can't lift that out, not properly, because I'm going to say it again, because it's sized, internally sized. So the top layer isn't sized or weakly sized. So the paint goes straight through the top layer and stains it, hits the size and sits really nice and comfortably once it's in the size in the middle of the sandwich, if you like, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
Yeah.
Meantime, the stuff on the top is like blotting paper, so it's dried, or you can't lift it out. Nowhere near right. I don't know who makes it. French in it, they don't like us. That's what it is, isn't it? This, all this wonderful paper, we will pass it over to the British, the Rospies. That's what they call us, isn't it? Rosties. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'm just going to let that dry off a bit up there. But as soon as everybody wants an early lunch, I'm not fussed. It's my palette. I put my palette over here. I made a special effort so everyone can see my palette,
Very good.
see what I'm mixing, even though I'm painting upside down now, because that's my light side, my blues, my yellows, and the darks are over there in that horrible corner. Anyway, I want some yellow and a little bit of green. Don't ask me what the green is. Well, you can. It's Floridian and Hooker's green, I believe. All mixed. There's a half and half. Seems to be a thing I do now. On its own, it's awful. But added to a little bit of yellow or another colour, it turns into something magical. Well, I think that's a bit harsh, but it turns into a nice green. You can add loads of colours to it. So that was yellow, blended those greens and add a little bit of burnt sienna. All of a sudden you've got a whole little range of strange greens in there. All I'm going to do is I have not a specific plan with these little pine things. I just thought I'd block them in. Slow down, I'm rushing now. Take your time, Dave. There's no rush. Don't know why. I'm rushing. I put loads of pencil lines where I thought the darks were. I was hoping it would work quite nicely initially, and then I'll get a a smashed brush. Burnt sienna. Loads of it. I think in that palette there's a little bit of indigo from 2-3 weeks ago. So with the burnt sienna, that make a serious bit of dark, won't it? I've got some riggers here over it. Loads of, oops, that's not one. Loads of different ones. This is a number 2 from Sea White. And they make them, they come from Germany, which I don't mind. And they're usually sable. This one's got a serious fine point on it, so might as well utilize that. Perhaps drawing, sketching on some of this, the main stem, isn't it? Oh, it doesn't hold a lot of paint though. It's the rigger, they're not supposed to, yeah, I know. Bit of water. Yeah, James seems to have come on leaps and bounds the last few days.
That's good.
Yeah, so I'm in that. They don't get it, kids. How upsetting it is when they're poorly, when they're really, you know. There's something. It hurts right in the pit of your tummy, doesn't it? You sort of,
Yeah.
you can't focus, you can't concentrate. It's really weird. And then they come back and say, "You didn't care I was you. You didn't care for me. I was you. And you think, cool, blimey, I've just spent 2 weeks with a knot in the pit of my stomach.
Yeah,
You know,
it's worrying.
waking up in the morning thinking, come on, Jesus, you've got to help me out here. We need some. Does work. I suppose you have to believe in it a bit. But power of prayer. It's quite a nice rigger, this. It's one of those things with a rigger. You're forever trying to find one with a, can you see it? A really nice thin doodad. That this is a Sea White number 2. I don't know what the numbers constitute because that's a number 2. The one I've got a couple in the hand here. No, that's not. That's Terry Harrison one. That's a number 2. What's this? Ah, see, that's a number 2 Sea White. Hold it that way. That's a number 2 Rosemary and Co. So their number 2 is different to them. Number 2. That's a number 1 on this side. So I think a long time ago, at some point, you'll get to the stage where you think, well, I'm not really taking much notice of the numbers. I'm more interested in what it comes out painting like. You know, what the fine line is. I mean, you can spend a lot of time doing this. All I'm trying to do is block in, so really I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing here. I'm putting too many of the fine lines in because I need to put some shadow in as well. But it seems, I'm always saying that once you get a nice fine line on a brush, keep going because it might disappear, especially when it's stuff like this. Yeah, I like it. It's better than a watercolor pencil. That's okay because I want to utilize it in a different way in a minute. I want the number. Oh, I'll just use this for now. As I say, I've still got some of that light blue over here. I think my sky's dried off a little bit. So what I want to do is put some hint of something in the background. Sort of tree type things. It's just a blue and burnt sienna, which is on my notes. Distant foliage, cobalt, and a touch of burnt sienna. So I'm just following my notes. That's a little touch more. Gotta watch this brush. It soaks up so much paint. I think there's one over there. Mistletoe and wine. Get in the mode. I've got that magic rigger that I used a minute ago. Cool, I don't want to be walking like that field. I don't know. Just clean water, push it around. Mistletoe and wine. And while it's still a bit stick some wicks in. Now I've got this superstar rigger that's got twiggy bits in. Bit damp, but flick them up. I watched Joyce watched it as well, Charlie Evans's video where he was doing snow scenes. So hats off to Charlie for jogging the memory. Don't need a lot, just a few to say that we've got some. Just take the edge off the rigger. As I say, I'm really making this up as I go along. Is that obvious? Don't say nothing, Dave. You shouldn't say that. You should big it up. Say this is absolutely how it was over at Stampit Marsh. That magical day. And the frost was, and the snow had been out all night. Well, like it does. Now, can we? Shall we? Will we? Is it gonna happen? Could do. Just use our brush on its side. Push it a few. Maybe I need to stiff up. Maybe this rigger isn't as stiff as I. It's all about. They have different stiffness to them. Got a lisp that came out all fine. They got this stiffness to them. So it's all a bit damp up there at the moment. I think I might use the fan brush instead. Get better, just same effect. unlike me, if you can remember, put more on one side than the other. Gives it a feeling that the wind came from, or there's a bit of shadow. Swim. Slightly running out of paint. Update. Burnt sienna and blue. Just variations on the tone. But what I tend to do is not actually mix it in. So you've got those bits around the edges that are they're not mixed paint, they're sort of intermediate colours of the whole. So now I'm gonna get a little bit of raw sienna. Bit of water, that strange stuff. And dab it in at the bottom. I'm thinking Stamp It Marsh, believe it or not, where it's put a few bits there and add some raw grey to it. I'll call it grey because it's not blue, is it? Burnt sienna. I think it was the theme colour from last week as well. Burnt sienna and the blue gives you that. I think I'll have a little gate there that goes into a paddock over there. Okay, a bit of fresh water underneath, usual watercolour technique. With a thin brush, let it blend down. Lovely jubbly. Could put a little building there, a little church over there or something. Done that in the past. No, a bit more brown, a bit more shadow. That was my secret ingredient later. Towards the end was a little bit of Terry Harrison's shadow colour. I think Christmas. I have put some pencil lines about. There's one there, one going across there, very faint, and I'm looking at them now thinking I'm going to use them as shadow. There's a blip in the paper there, or is it a pencil line? I don't know. Whatever it is, I'll put some paint over the top of it, make it look like a bank. It's a bit thick, this brush. Unplanned mayhem.
It's looking good so far.
Mm.
But I think that's what you should. What I remember. Well, what you should. What I was going to finish off. What you should try and do is take ownership of the picture, and that follows along the lines of just using a rigger. If you put it in dark paint, take the edge off, and you'll get that sort of dry brush work because it's not wet up here. The paper's not wet. It is in the sky, but it's not here. And when you're out there on those sort of frosty bits, you can't really define, your brain tells you that's a hedgerow, or there's a hedgerow with a twig sticking in it, or a man-made post in it. But it's only because your brain, it's just a piece of light and shadow, dark and tone, isn't it? So if you think that way, you can just dab it in with the rigor. So the theme today is burnt sienna and cobalt blue. Thank you, Charlie. I will credit him. Well, it's not. It's just reminding me what's what really. Going back to the sort of basics. But once you get that sort of dry brush feel to it, you can get those. You just touch it on the thing, and you get that. You can see like little dark highlight bits. I said I was gonna use a bit of burnt sienna, denoting wood. Post. I mentioned the word post, but there's a dark bit there with a white space in it, which I didn't design, but I can see that it's there. So down one side of it, I think I'll put the little bit of burnt sienna there, just a straight line, and there's another bit over here. Just going to put it there, and then add a little strong bit of the dark. There you go, my little possum. And it looks like, to me, that looks like a post. Got a few little dark speckly bits. I'll stop here. Should, or I will, add a few horizontal. Could actually put a bar across with the rigor. And that is making it up as you go along, isn't it? Not too bad. But what you do need to do, if there's a fence, if there's a gate, it's not a gate to nowhere, so there's got to be something, a track in there of some description. Just put a couple of bits of wort sienna sitting there and there. I'm making a trail for myself now. So that's just raw sienna on there. So that path, it's got to come from somewhere, hasn't it? So a bigger brush. It's got to be, that was a bit of digital art, as Charlie calls it. Just squish it with your finger. Good things, fingers. Well, I don't, and away you go. Bit of snow, which is just those three colours really. While it's damp, have a think which side you want, where you feel that the light is coming from. But with the snow, with those sort of things, you look at it, it's not always easy to tell which is the shadow side. I love doing this. I think it comes across that you can, using your rigor, you put it down and you get a line. It happened just there where I pushed too hard and the rigor bent, and it gave me a line of colour. This is good practice for next week's target. Two ladies, they might be watching. It's Georgina or Georgiana and Aileen. They've picked a good week to come because next week's subject is really hard.
Nice.
And I think This is a warm-up, a prelude to it. Don't want to spend too much time doing this anyway. Get a bit of I'm going to do it. Hang on. I'm going to not spoil it. It's got a little bit of Terry Harrison's shadow color here. So I'm just going to put a, no, I'll put it down here. It's not even a, just a smidge of it. The only reason I say, because it says, because it's, I just wanted to see, it's got a purple feel to it. I think it has. It's not a grey, it's got a purpley tone to it, which you can mix up using, come on, don't let me down, turquoise, cobalt turquoise, and burnt sienna. So it's blue and burnt sienna, or a little bit of rose madder. I'm frightened to use that. Look, just put it. That's a rigger. I just went like that in rose madder, put it over there, and it's turned it into a total rose madder, ready grey, ready shadow colour, which is great. I think. But you can spend quite a therapeutic amount of time doing this part of the picture. Dum, dum, I'm going in. Don't know why. Maybe a little bit of yellow on it, just to warm it up. Because he hasn't been in the snow, so it's, oops, not there. Save that colour for the next stage. Yep. And he's got welly boots on, just like me. This morning I was out there with my welly boots on. It's easier walking in this snowy stuff, I think, with wellies on. They got a bit like tires, aren't they? They got grip on them. What colour are boots then? Let's start. Put a line of colour there. If you do it there, you've got to do it there. Okay. Why? Because I'm going to make one side darker than the other. Gosh, that's techie. Put that extra bit of that dark colour up here, which is last week's remnant of indigo. Drop that in. Just let it sit on top of the green for a sec. One thing I did with the sketch here of the guy, there's something that crossed my mind as I was sketching it, that I'd sketched his jacket going like that, up, making that kind of an arc, and it looks better. Times I've done it the other way around or just straight, but doing it like that gives it more movement. Just a heads up. Clean water on this rigger. I'm just going to go down the edge of that colour. I just want it to blend in, just squish down. Maybe. I don't want the inside to be that side, to be too dark. I just wanted it to look like it was catching some light. Same with this side. Clean water. See if I can get it to. I'm using a little rigger, and it's not grabbing any water. See if it'll work. Jury's out on that. Nah. Put the dark over there. let the dark do the work, and some of that shadow colour because it's local. Put in that little bit of rose madder or Algerian crimson into that, where it meets the raw sienna. You get that magical yellowy colour. It's gone too dark now. Never mind. This is Archie's watercolour paper, the finest watercolour paper in the world. And when it dries, it doesn't matter what state you're at, you could just use a clean brush of water and lift it off. Not very cynical today, David.
Excuse me.
And there is up the top here, got a little bit of flesh tone. Just wanted to put it up here for a minute. These aren't, it's not final painting, final colour, but it's a marker. I'm just putting a marker to say that I want it to be obvious that it's a person. I don't want it all just be shadow. And a good way of doing that in my book is to put some, and his hand. Sorry, forgot that. I'm going to put a bit there as well, because I think I've gone gaga and I keep forgetting things when I'm painting. I'll be painting away and I'll be doing the sky and I'm already thinking about what's going on down here, and I think, oh, I must do that, and then I forget it. So the secret is to do it now while you remember. Now this guy's, I've got some really lovely colour here,
I'm actually sat on camera.
and it's, I'm going to make it
Well, I couldn't see from here.
raw sienna.
Top.
This is his top bit. This bit we really will need to lift out some. It's not very clean, my raw sienna. Maybe it's old and stale like me. Don't have to agree with everything I say.
We didn't say anything.
No, I don't eat the whole one.
I think I'll add a bit more actually. I don't want him to go too insipid. What's the? I don't even know if I haven't even got a sketch of the bloke. Well, whatever. The key bit is he's got a stick. Every old doodah governor should have a stick. But in this down here, I've got the little bit of that shadow tone, and I put a little bit of rose madder in it, and it's where it's mixed here with yellow stroke raw sienna. It's a really nice sort of colour. So that's the colour that I'm playing with his jacket, coat. I just like the look of it. So there's something you don't hear every day. What colour? I painted the picture that colour because the colour appeared in my palette that I like the look of, so I used it on the picture.
Why not?
Isn't that the way it should be? While it's in my head, as well. Sounds really bad. I keep saying this. I've got something wrong with my head. I can't remember things. I watched documentary on, or it was a program on Quentin Blake last night. It was on channel 2 or 4, one of them, and he said it much more eloquently than I ever have. But you know, look, when we first started, you was people say, "Oh, I can't draw for toffee. I can't paint. I can't." But he's famous, big time, isn't he? Roald Dahl's illustrator and BFG, all that stuff. He came up with the things because he used to teach at the Royal Academy, British School of Art, whatever it is, and he used to get the students there, and they were like, "I couldn't draw for toffee," and I'm at the Royal Academy sort of thing. But he said, "It's the way you do it. It's the same as your handwriting. It's like handwriting. So even though you draw a table and chairs or a person sat down at a sofa or something, the way you do it, it's like I'm always say, it's special. No one else can do it your way." And he's just put it eloquently and said, it's your form of handwriting. Isn't that good? The way you sketch, no one does the handwriting the same as you. So I thought that was brilliant. I've been trying to think of a way of putting it. The yonks. And he just did well. That's why he's a lord or whatever, a proper artist. The dog I sketched really diligently, and then when I kind of you'll find it out when you sketch it. You're doing it and you think, do you know what? It looks like a sheep. The way it's, because it has got all four quarters, legs sort of poking through. I thought, do you know what? That looks like a flipping it looks like a sheep. Well, maybe they're related. Don't know. What colour? It's a black dog, isn't it? So I'm just using the colours that I used on the coat and adding a little bit more indigo. But I made the dog wet first so that I'll get those watercolour magical blends, let the water do some performance magic, for want of a better term.
Did you remember the letter?
Which is what I'm always trying to achieve anyway. I've got a rigger now. But I'm leaving a little white bit over by his tail because I want it to look like his tail. And I'll just use the rigger. Don't forget this board is tilted funny angle, so everything's running
Oh, what the
down.
traffic lights? Yeah.
Well, I thought that was a really neat way of putting it. So next time you look at your pencils, your sketch, and think, "Oh, that ain't very good," it is good. I suppose you could argue, well, my handwriting's rubbish anyway. So that's the mockers on that one. I think I will
It doesn't bode well.
put a little bit of fluff on there. I suppose you could. Well, it would be fun to paint the figures. Just putting a bit more on the top here.
Oh no.
The figures, the bloke's trousers. I can't really paint them at all at the moment because
They won't know what I'm doing.
I've got doodah. It's all run down, so I've got to wait for it to
Chris has said what he
soak
said
into this blotting paper that they
email to
call
say about
the
the tickets are reserved.
finest watercolor paper in the world. Bit more of the raw sienna. Well, it's whatever's left over here in the palette. Sort of a browny color. And I'm just gonna decide on a hedgerow over here or something to frame the picture, won't it? I hope it will.
Those cakes are not, I don't think they are quite a yum.
But it comes down there, comes down to meet him.
No, but
Maybe
they keep better.
I'll try it anyway. I'll stick with it. Joyce is thinking about this one. Got some
Ready? Jump.
sand dune. Mine's dune, isn't it? But it's Dale around, you sell it as sand, I think. Just introduce a bit of that around. Bit of water. Reduce flesh. Gives it a nice. I'll come back to that side in a minute. Maybe I'm making it too busy now, which isn't my intent. My intention wasn't that. Just put some paint where my lines, sketch lines were. Get more a shadow and put it on the bottom while it's wet. Just a little bit here and there. It's not what I intended. Clean water, work your magic. And while you've got some on the brush, carry on, carry on. And start thinking about these. It's not rocket science, is it? It's just two colours, really. The yellow, or the raw sienna, forms the body of the colour, and then while it's damp, along the bottom of it, put a little bit of, I'm doing it heavier there on purpose so you can see it, put a little bit of the shadow, then clean water, and then just run the shadow down. And if you think it's too much or not enough, just use your tissue and lift a bit off. Wouldn't like to be out in that night. Right, let's have a, while I've got the shadow theme on my head, start putting some in here as well. In amongst, just use the brush on its side, I think.
I thought he said that's Chris says that's the colour of the paint.
Drop a bit in. Don't want it to look too much like a Christmas tree. I think the secret is, I think, is to paint away from where you think the snow is with the shadow, because that will give it like a, feel like we did last week, leaving a little sort of white.
What am I doing tomorrow?
You're forming a jagged white surface that makes it look like snow. But you can spend an awful lot of time, hearts, till you get
I was trying to remember yesterday.
content with it. A bit more green. The dog's actually stood in a green
Chris and Friday's Ruby.
clump of grass. If you do that, you don't have to paint his feet. For a bit. Heaven forbid you want to do that. So that's just a bit of that green with some, same as I did before, raw sienna, that mix of green. To make it dark, I can add raw sienna or burnt umber to it. But I just wanted to use that rigor and put some, still a bit wet, never mind. Make it look like he's in a tuft of grass. It's totally interesting. This is, I've got about 5 different pictures going on in the same, within the same picture. The original subject was just that, the tree. And since then I've got, that's a picture on its own, this is a picture on its own. Right, get my fan. Shall I use fan brush? Decisions. I need to mix up some more of that green colour there. It's amazing that Viridian green when you first put it, you put it on anything. Look at that. It's beyond frog. It's unbelievable stuff. As soon as you take a load of, as soon as you touch it with raw sienna, it changes it instantly. You can make it really dark, put a bit of the dreaded Alzerian crimson or rose madder in it. Now you've got not black, but a sort of a really dark, greeny, interesting colour. Where's that fan brush gone? Come out wherever you are. Not in water. You always, now you know why you end up buying more than one of everything, because invariably you can't find. I wonder where that went. Well, we have got two. So anyway, let's start at the top, I think. Yeah, it's still a bit damp, so I can put some body on the raw sienna that I put on earlier down the side here. Let the brush do paper in the wood, water do the work. I don't quite know what it is. Okay, one does. Oh, wrong colour. That was sepia, indigo. Just don't want it to be sort of a snowy bank, isn't it? That you get. I think I'll add a bit of raw sienna, burnt sienna rather. And mix that just to warm it up. Kind of warms it up. And then we'll get the rigger and flick it up. Yes, you've got a good opportunity if you wanted to put a bit of colour in as well. Red berries or something. Flick it up.
Oh,
Pink twigs.
He couldn't get up here.
Yeah, it's not easy.
He did try. Tables and
How much? Not paying that. I had a nice thing yesterday. James ordered a guitar amplifier, a Marshall 100-watt doodah thingy, and I thought, oh, here we go. He's feeling better. Gonna have blooming heavy metal because he plays distorted guitar a lot. And true enough, it came yesterday morning. I opened it up for him and unpacked a blooming great beast of a thing. And I heard him, have you got a lead? He wanted a lead for the guitar lead to fire this beast up. And he fired it up, and true enough, it came. And it was later on in the afternoon, he did it for a while. And he just sort of turned around and said, oh, by the way, Dad, I've tricked you. That guitar amplifier isn't for me, it's for you. He just thought that I needed and bought it for me. He said, I can't. I tried playing guitar a few weeks ago. He said, I'm not very. He said, I can't do it anymore. My hands and that aren't up for it. So it's yours. I bought it for you. Oh. How much humble pie can one person swallow in one afternoon? Oh, Really looking forward to that.
Bet Mel is too.
You'll be able to hear it from
Mm.
where you are.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that
Mm.
you can get it in Blandford.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah, I got enough trouble with Gordon, let alone you.
Yeah, okay. I think my Christmas tree needs some help here. It's not a way. I know a song that'll get on your nerves. Anyway, I'm quite pleased with this, considering, well, you say you don't have a plan, but you do, don't you? You have a notion. When I wrote those notes last night,
I don't know. The pipes.
colour notes, it does give you a little bit of a,
Bloody nice it got close.
there's a lovely bit there, which does actually look like it's snowy, so I'm a bit dubious of touching that. Once you add the dark bits to it, let's flick up a few twiggy bits here and there.
Yeah, when you're going to start raking those leaves
I nearly mentioned the word lake then, which I'm not into it now. Makes you want to cry.
nice and warm in here.
Yeah, we've got a bit.
Right. Just for,
But why not?
because it needs it,
I did
I'm going to
put
put
cash so they could get electric and get them.
some yellow, any yellow you have at your disposal. And
He said
I've
that
left a
was
little bit
cool.
at the top of his jacket.
So you're lucky you're
It's
in
his
this
shirt. So I'm going to put a little bit of yellow on it. Like so. Let it dry. And if you've got a nice cadmium red or something in your palette, by all means use it. I'm just going to stick a little bit of red there just to warm the picture up. But there's no reason why I can take a punt, take a little risk, grab your what's this thing called again? Fan brush, smash it off, smash it, and stick a few. Doesn't really work with that one. Some brushes smash really well and others don't. This one is a posh sable brush. This one, it will make it a bit damp. Yeah, it'll smash. Then stick that into the neat yellow and then just blob them down. Put a few bits on and do the same into the red and stick a few. We don't know if they're berries, but it makes it feel a bit more Christmassy. Could be that what do they call that stuff? Gorse. I've got gorse on my picture. While it's splayed up like that, but there's no stopping you from adding a few of those warm bits to the grass. Even over there on that sort of hedgerow thing. There you go. And one thing I was going to do, wasn't it, was say, because I've got the colour in my palette, I've got sand or dune, so I might just put some of that on his trousers. Make them look like those riding ones, but they ain't quite worked. Yucky colour in my paint. But we'll just do it there. Maybe a bit dark in the centre. Oh, that's a shame. I like the idea of it being. Yeah, I'll just do that. Just lift it off. You know what I mean? I didn't want them to look like jeans or anything. Oh, that's my top jeans. Don't mention jeans. Top tip. Jeans ain't no good in cold weather.
Mm.
Don't wear jeans. Cords are fine. Jeans, you go outside with jeans on, it's freezing. You touch them, it's horrible. That's all wet there. That's a big pool of colour there. Amazing. And I wanted to put a little bit of burnt umber and that dark colour up there. And stick a few dark bits there for his. He has got some hair. But I just wanted the little bit of the flesh that I put on that back. It looked like his neck, but it isn't. It's where he's looking out across the field. It's just a little bit of his face showing. So need to put a bit of hair on it, and then but don't put it on the front piece, and then that'll look like the side of his face. And if you put a little bit of dark just there, it forms the dark bit behind the ear. How cool is that? Now, I'm sat down, so I'm not getting the benefit of a wider view, you know, of distance for checking the distance dynamics of the range. But at some point I might, when I stand up and go, ooh, oh, it doesn't look too bad on the screen. I'm looking across. First time I've done that.
Gordon.
That's about it. Oh, there's two other bits to do, which are burnt sienna,
No.
I think.
Oh, you're there. Can you let the dog out?
This is the scary bit.
Top.
So if you want to use a pencil or a ruler, but the positive bit is that he's not carrying. It's not a cane. It's a sticky type one, so it doesn't have to be a straight line. In actual fact, it's better if it isn't. Better if it's a bit knobbly. The other bit is the dog's doodah, so fingers crossed this rigger will cope with it. Woo! No, it wouldn't. Come on, lassie. Whatever your flipping name is, that'll do. A little bit of tinky, shadowy tone.
I think you should let him off and have a good run.
Mm.
It's a nature reserve, madam.
No.
We're not allowed to.
Oh,
Just
okay.
put a little bit on his hand. And I think I'm good there. I think I'm not far off. Not far off at all. Could play with and tinker it for hours. Add in bits of shadow here and there. But just
I think in this case, less is more. It really looks effective now, doesn't it?
yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
I mean,
it looked nice.
I'll have a look at it later, but the sky is so simple. You know, I mean, it's not. Years ago, but if you, it's the old thing about
Right, Doc?
snow. A snowy scene isn't snowy, isn't white paper.
Mm.
The cool thing that that works really well is
No.
do the sky. You don't need a lot in a snowy sky. If you look out there now, it's just yuck. It's just cobalt blue on its own, going just straight across, left and right. Looks really nice. You can blend it in. And I've also, and then later on when it dries, you're getting these sort of dry backs coming here already. And this flesh pencil, you can just do that and it'll blend it all in. It's really uncanny. Definitely worth investigating. And same with his trousers. When they're dry, I can warm it up with a little bit of the pink. It's pink, but it's, to me, it's flesh. It's the same color as the flesh. And you can have some really lovely time with it and add in nice, an extra dimension to the overall thing. Okay, that's a really lovely picture. I'm really chopping that.
Good.
Over to you.
Really nice.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe I've got another Christmas card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What colour was the dog? I had to go missing then when you mix that up. Is it just the dark colour, the blue and the red
But what?
for the dog?
Yeah,
What colour? Yeah. What colour?
I did it exactly the same as I did the bloke's coat. Yeah.
Oh, what's that? Burnt. What's that?
Hang on. 2 secs.
I ought to write this down. I can never remember what you
I do it on the back of this bit of paper. Should work. And I threw all my brushes down in completion. I used it was the raw sienna there, but it also had blended just next to it in the palette was a little bit of the obviously and crimson red type thing. So the dog, it was a bit, I just put that on it. It won't soak into this paper so much. And then while it was dry, well, while it was still damp, I started teasing in that indigo. What was it? What was that? Indigo and burnt umber from last week. And I just put it. But you can use the shadow with burnt umber in it if you've got any of that.
Yeah.
That'll do it. Just let it rest in. And that's what I was saying was let the water do its magic, because and the only thing I did do was try to miss that bit over there where his tail is. Because at some point, perhaps do it now, where his tail actually is, it's like a white line. You could put a little dark extra fine line on it. That looked like a little bit of shadow on where his tail is. Jury's out on that. I can't make up my mind. I think that's good. Just a little white line there to say there's a tail there it's an old dog. It's got grey hairs on its tail. All the light's catching it. We're artists. We just make these things up as they come along. Yeah, but that was all the colour was.
Right, thank you.
That's pretty much a theme for all of it, actually. I've not got the same grey oval grey feel that the original picture has. But if you've got some dirty water, as you will have when you finish, you can easily just use that to dab it in, and that'll add even more tone to it. You know, knock a bit off of the alternative. Another way of doing it, and I'll do it on mine just quickly, because the snow will reflect the sky, and it really should have done it earlier, but you can use the cobalt blue. I'll save this to the last. Really weak wash of it, and dab that on anywhere within the picture, and that gives it an even further dimension. Very icy feel, but it does balance it up, the ground with the sky, so it's not a total. Don't want to get too much on him. Should do it when he's dry, really. Voila. Now the balance is a little bit better. I say you can play with these things for hours. There's something there that gives me a feeling that it could be a building, a church. Could it possibly? No, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to leave it for now.
Yeah,
I know me. But it could be quite easily if you just put. Go on. All you need is a straight line, isn't it? Oh, I've got wet hands here. All you need is a couple of straight lines.
Don't talk to me about straight lines. We've got a leaning church as well as a leaning candle and a leaning tower.
A straight line there, and maybe a hint of something there. And you've sort of got a church looking in the background. And if you get that fine rigger that I had, let's go and walk about and put a very fine line going upwards on the flagpole. Now you've got a church with a flagpole. There you go. Almost got a church in behind the trees there, sneaking in between the trees. Fine, Wally. I'm running out of bits to put in this picture. Lovely jubbly. There you go. Over to you lot. You have a go.
Right.
Trying to tell a story, isn't it? That's what you're trying to do. Next week's a hard one as well, so look out. But I think this is a good prelude to it. Once we crack this one, next week's will be Water Orthodox Dewberry.
I'm going to take your word for that.
Turn my speaker up a bit. There you go. Stop shouting. I can hear you better.
Right.
Silent anticipation.
Yeah,
Yeah. God,
fear. It's fear.
yeah.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see. I'll try not to leave it until the night before.
Yeah.
I know, I was a bit like that this week.
There's
Mm.
trouble with this time of year as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
You get to sort of 2 o'clock and you think, crikey, it's dark.
That's
It's
it.
even
Oh,
now it's feeling dull.
yeah. It's dull.
Not going to brighten up, is it?
Nope. I'm being picked up and taken out today. So.
Oh,
right.
that'd be nice.
Nice.
Oh,
Where are you
very
going? Somewhere nice.
Yes, our friends Debbie and Bob, who used to run the charity, they've invited me and another girl to lunch.
Oh,
So we're
right,
going
nice.
to their house with our
Oh.
Christmas jumpers and
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
so on. Yeah, be nice.
Very nice too.
Yes. I
Yeah,
should be so glad when I can drive.
yeah.
Oh, how
Not
is
long
your
now,
wrist?
though, is it?
Well,
How is your wrist?
it doesn't appear, it is better. I mean, I
Yeah.
am
You are
beginning to
moving it. Yeah.
can move it more now. Officially, I can drive from the 20th.
Mm.
If I can do an emergency stop and I can grip the steering wheel.
Oh, God.
Right.
So, yeah, a bit nearer the time. I'll,
Well,
Okay.
if you're going in Haskins, can you tell the woman in the manager in the restaurant we ain't coming?
I'm sure I won't be driving to Haskins on the 20th. No way.
I meant today.
No.
Oh, I can't go anywhere. I rely on everybody else to pick me up and take me places.
Oh,
Including the bus.
Very
Yeah.
bad thing.
Yeah.
Shame you don't drink.
Yeah, I was going to say you can get drunk
Yeah.
or you can
I
have
know.
free-
I know.
Can't
It's
even do that.
totally wasted.
oh.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind. Get the
No,
kettle
I
on
can't.
Thursday.
Have you had
Sorry?
a cuddle with your
Get the
baby
kettle on
yet? Your
Thursday.
new baby? Oh, sorry, we're all
That's
talking.
right.
I said, have
Yeah.
you had a cuddle with your new baby yet?
Yes, yesterday.
Oh,
Ah,
Yeah,
lovely.
Debbie picked me up. She lives in the same road. Well, she came over and we took Leo out for a nice run. And then she dropped me off at Dave and Kat's. And then I went and Kathy and her partner were there as well. So the 4 of us were there.
Oh,
And then
that's
the midwife turned up. So we sort of made a retreat to a different part of the house.
right.
But yeah, he's lovely. He's
oh,
lovely. Yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah.
midwife did say that he was the worst case of jaundice in 10 years that she's seen.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. All looking good now.
good.
Good.
It's on the right road now.
Good.
Yeah, he's very good. He's lovely.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
I just said get the kettle on Thursday.
I'll get the kettle on.
Yeah.
Yes, I will. Yes. Oh,
See you Thursday.
yeah. Talking of which, sorry everybody. Would you mind bringing a small pint of milk, because I've only got soy milk. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
might. Yeah, if I can get down the corner shop tomorrow, I can get some. But
Oh, that's no problem.
just,
We can
I
stop
just
on the way.
yeah, just in case I forget.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you don't want to go out and slip up. for goodness sake.
No, oh my
Yeah.
God, no.
No, our road that comes into mine, into
Mm.
my cul-de-sac, it's got burst water mains, and they're
Oh.
going to
Oh, right.
be out this morning. Got halfway down the road, and there's all water all running down the road. So I think
Oh, God.
they're closing the road. They might have done it by now.
Right.
So that would be a pain.
Yeah, yeah.
Never mind. I'm sure.
Mm.
But So I couldn't take him the way I normally do this morning. I had to go a different
Right.
way.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
be-
that'd be
be
nasty if that
careful.
freezes.
mm.
Yeah, it's like a river running down there at the moment.
Oh God, if that lot freezes.
Yeah, crikey, you won't be going anywhere.
No.
Yeah. Yes, it is a pain. It's the only road that comes into my cul-de-sac.
Oh, oh.
I hope this sort it out today. If not, be prepared.
Yeah.
You might have to do a detour and take the next left.
Oh,
Oh, well, have a good week, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
same
thank
to
you. Yeah,
You too.
Go at this one.
yeah.
I'm still 6 behind, so I'll catch up sometime.
Oh dear.
You've got the component. You've got the 2 components, so you can do what you like with them, really.
Yeah, lovely. Okay then.
Yeah.
See you all next
All
week.
right. Yeah. Okay.
Take care then.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for the
Dave.
update.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
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 I know a song that'll get on your nerves. Certainly gets on mine. It's all about you. It's all about you, baby. It's all about you. It's all about you, baby. Yesterday you asked me something I thought you knew. So I told you with a smile, it's all about you. Then you whispered in my ear, and that told me to say, make my life worthwhile. It's all about you. Well, I would answer all your wishes if you asked me to. But if you deny me one of your kisses, don't know what I'd do. Hold me close and say these words like you used to do. Dancing on the kitchen tile, it's all about you. Yeah. Well, I would answer all your wishes if you asked me to. Yeah, deny me one of your kisses, I don't know what I'd do. Hold me close and say 3 words like you used to do. While dancing on the kitchen tiles. Yes, you make my worth worthwhile life even. So hold me with a smile. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you, baby. It's all about you. It's all about you, baby. Told you it was a song that'll get